in the way the patient was given the survey to answer. You always try to lead the patient without lead the patient in answering your customer service survey. And I was able to change that scripting so that we did achieve our 5 stars, which was the ultimate goal for any department to reach the 5 star. I also volunteer at our church in our accounting department. I post and pay bills. I am the president of our women's ministry, and we have accomplished a lot because we are new. We just had our 1 year anniversary, and so we've been able to accomplish a lot. So I feel good about being the leadership of that team, especially with all the strong women in that group. Um, as far as presenting skills to influence someone, I think that early on in my career, I was able to change the mind of my director at that time because I wanted to leave work early. I wanted to come in a little early and leave a little early. So what I did was a time study that conducted that was conducted from the hours of actually 7 a.m. when the outpatient department opened until the 7 p.m. when the patient access department closed for the outpatient. And that calculated the volume and the time that people would come into our facility for services. And what was found is that we had our peak time was actually between the hours of 9 and 11, and there were maybe 2 to 3 people seen between the hours of 5:30 and 7:30. So I was able to get my hours changed to 9 a.m. until 5:30 p.m., which was a plus for me. As far as the doing something or accomplishing something or going beyond the call of duty happened when we were snowbound. And what happened on that day, people were sent home. Some people stayed, and I volunteered to stay, which was because I was a part of the leadership team, and most of the leaders had left that day, except for the A team and the managers of different other departments. But I was the manager on call for the the patient access department. So I made sure that the reps that stayed, they would get relief. So we had 24/7 coverage. That they were fed, that they had toiletries, that they got their sheets and blankets. We got cots to sleep in. Everything that was vitally needed, I made sure that that took place. And the typical way of dealing with conflicts would be to actually listen to the person who is upset, because usually that's what they want to do, is be heard. And sometimes if you stop to listen to what they're saying, ultimately it's not even about what they're upset about, or they just need to know that someone actually cares, or why a process cannot be done the way that they think that it should be, and have a conversation instead of a combative arguing. So, and I think that my method works out pretty good. And handling upset customers, and patient access, is just, I mean, because we have times that we have to collect from patients, and they get really upset when they're not understanding that their insurance only pays X amount of dollars, or they didn't understand the rep when she called and said this will be your out of pocket amount. And sometimes again, it requires you to listen to the patient and let them know that you can do the best that you can to help them. But ultimately, the bottom line is that they would have to pay X amount of dollars. And you say it with sincerity. So I've not had many, maybe one time that someone was really upset and irate, and it wasn't just at me, it was with the whole process and not with just the company I worked with, all healthcare providers. So, but basically, I have pretty good outcome when I'm dealing with an upset customer. And discussing the importance of a written document would be working with Medicare patients who are scheduled for a radiology test or lab test. And Medicare requires an advance beneficiary notice, an ABN document, to be signed by the patient that explains that Medicare wants to know that this test that was ordered by their doctor is medically necessary. It's to their best interest and also the best interest of the facility and the doctor. And what happens with that is that we check to make sure per the diagnosis and the test that it is medically necessary. But we can't check that until after the test is ran. So we get them to sign this document and explain that they have a right to not sign or to sign, to agree to have the test, even though it may not be medically necessary, and to let them know that yes, they have, this is their right, and to sign or not have the test or go on to have the test. But we also explain it's to their best interest that they should have the test done. That and even if they don't sign, the test is done. I want to thank you today for seeing me, and I hope that to hear from you soon. And I know that I will be a good fit for your company. Thank you.